Alright, straight to the end at 45. So we're going to have to factor. First off, let's factor out, forgetting about the factor that, or the part that has the smallest exponent. What does each of the parts have? X squared minus 4, right? So let's worry about this part first and kind of go and just factor out an x squared minus 4. And we'll get to that in just a second. So then, what we have left is x squared plus 3 to the 1/2 power minus x squared minus 4, because I still have one left because there's two of them. And then the x squared plus 3 to the 3/2 power. From here, let's now look at like what's on the inside, and what do we have that is a GCF? Like, what do we, now if we treat it like we did here and here, what are we going to divide, or what else do I need to factor out now from the inside of what's inside the brackets? What else needs to go on the outside of that? We look at the one that has the lowest what? Exponent? Yes? Correct? So, what's the lowest exponent that I have? 1/2. So I'm going to pull out x squared plus 3 to the 1/2 power. I'm just going to rewrite x squared minus 4 to start. Now, it's like I take each one, right, and do this, and divide. So what do I have left of the first part? 1? Yeah? That's what I would go with. If I do the same thing here, it's still going to be a minus. What am I left with right there? Three halves minus 1/2. Anybody want to take a shot at this one? What's 3/2 minus 1/2? 1. Yes. Very good. So what I'm left with is x squared minus 4 times x squared plus 3. X to the 4th plus 3x squared minus 4x squared minus 12. If I combine, I have 1 minus x to the 4th minus x squared minus 12. Now, what do I need to do with this subtraction sign? Distribute it. So I'm going to kind of do two things at once, and I'm going to go x to the 4th, negative x to the 4th plus x squared. That's going to change that to a plus 12. I'm going to add the 1 and go plus 13. Now I'm going to come back to what's on the outside here. I can't do anything with this part here, but what can I do with x squared minus 4? Can I factor that? Yeah? So how does it factor? X plus 2 and x minus 2, right? And then that x squared plus 3 to the 1/2 power. Now, we could have done the x squared minus 4 up where it was at and just kind of bringing it down then. But I want to kind of focus in on what was on the inside first and then go from there. Like on 44, if you factor out a 16 to start, right? You factor out a 16 to start, I'm going to have x to the negative 3/4. So if I factor out a 16, I'm going to have x to the negative 3/4 plus 2x to the 1/4. So now it's the same idea that we just had. So what it's taken to an exponent that is either negative or a rational, right? So it's not a whole number. It's not something nice and neat to work with. So which one's smaller? Negative 3/4 or 1/4, right? So the negative 3/4. So that means that I'm going to factor out, I'm going to have 16 out here still, and I'm going to have x to the negative 3/4. Okay, so since I do that, I'm going to take x to the negative 3/4 and I'm going to divide each one by x to the negative 3/4. That's all I'm really doing whenever I factor. Once I pull it out, I'm really just going to divide everything. So what is going to happen right here that's circled? What's it going to be? What's x to the negative 3/4 divided by x to the negative 3/4? 1. Attaboy, Reggie. Plus, nothing happens to the 2, right? And then really do what's 1/4 minus negative 3/4? 1 again, right? So I'm going to have 2x to the first, or just 2x, same thing. Okay. Whenever I divided those two. So we're good with that. I can't do anything else on the inside. What can I not have though? Can't have that negative exponent right here. So where does it need to go? To the denominator spot, right? So on the bottom side, I'm going to have my x to the 3/4 power, and then I'm going to have 16 times 1 plus 2x.